Let's give this a shot. In a surreptitious move to support the vaccine narrative, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention quietly changed the definition of a vaccine, which they have held since at least February 24th, 2011. At first glance, it might seem like a small change, but it has massive repercussions. The meaning of the words can change over time and can be influenced by social, economic, political, religious, and technological factors. Many of the words we use today have vastly different meanings than they did 10 or 100 years ago. However, changing medical words and definitions has a significant impact on bias in perception. One study demonstrated that a simple switch in terminology could result. Quote, and a disease being perceived as more serious, more likely to be a disease, and more likely to be a rare condition, these findings regarding the conceptualization of disease have implications for many areas, including medical communication with the public, advertising, and public policy. End quote. For example, medical literature has redefined the meaning of health over several decades to move from the absence of disease to a state of well-being. That definition continues to evolve in light of value-based healthcare, which some recommend should now include specific, quote, specific patient needs, the organizational value-based system required to satisfy those needs, end quote. This change in definition then affects healthcare delivery, public perception, and interpretation of the meaning of health. This strategy was not lost on Cat Dog Cat when they removed critical words from the definition of VAXX to change the public perception of any administered therapy that may impact a person's immune system. This opens the door to the administration of other products or preparations that may affect your immune system while still calling it VAXX. And let's face it, for much of the public, the word VAXX continues to have positive implications. To fully understand the importance of the change, it's crucial to note that before the issuance of orders, before the mandates, the definition of the VAXX had been relatively stable for nearly a couple of decades, with minor word changes occurring every few years. All through that time, the intent of the VAXX to give you immunity by protecting you from a specific disease had remained basically the same. For example, according to an archived snapshot of the Cat Dog Cat's website, the definition of the VAXX, February 24, 2011, was a product that produces immunity, therefore protecting the body from the disease. VAXX are administered through needle injections by mouth and by aerosol. Whoops. I forgot to change my voice. By July 2015, the wording had changed to a product that stimulates a person's immune system to a specific disease, protecting the person from that disease. VAXX are usually administered through needle injections, but can also be administered by mouth or sprayed in the nose. The wording was the same in June 2017 and likewise in June 19 and June 2020. By August 26, 2021, however, the definition had changed slightly to add the words "to produce immunity." A product that stimulates a person's immune system to produce immunity to a specific disease, protecting the person from that disease. The antibiotics are usually administered through needle injections, but can also be administered by mouth or sprayed into the nose. Then, less than a week later, just days after the the Federal Death Agency gave final approval to what do they call those things? Those people that do that. Oh, get fired. Get it. Oh, there's some word for it. mRNA jab. The definition changed again. September 1st, 2021. Just 24 days ago. What do you think about that, mister? This time, significantly, the definition of the VDAVLX now reads, a preparation that is used to stimulate the body's immune response against diseases. VDAVLX are usually administered through needle injections, but some can be administered by mouth or sprayed into the nose. As you'll note, the second sentence remains the same. It's the first part of the definition that has dramatically changed. In the last definition, VDAVLX is, bullet point, is no longer a product, but instead is a preparation. Bullet point, no longer directly stimulates the immune response, but is used to stimulate the system. Bullet point, does not produce immunity. Bullet point, stimulates the immune response against diseases, not against a specific disease. Bullet point, no longer protects a person from the disease. These dramatic changes were likely created to allow the cat-dog-cat, the Federal Death Agency, and other governmental agencies to call the genetic therapy experiment being administered worldwide a VDAVLX, while they knew full well the so-called VDAVLX was not created to either produce immunity or prevent transmission of disease. In fact, by any definition of a vaccine in use before 2021, this jab is not a VDAVLX. Alex Berenson was once a reporter for the New York Times and is now an award-winning author. He published a timeline of events on a Substack page that he calls, quote, a lawsuit in 3 acts, unquote. In Act 1 is an August 26, 2021 screenshot of the cat-dog-cat website with the prior definition of a VDAVLX as you can see above. Act 2 is a screenshot of a tweet Berenson posted August 28, 2021. Quote, I'm trying to think of a New York accent, but I won't be able to do it. It doesn't stop infection or transmission. Don't think of it as a VDAVLX. Think of it, at best, as a therapeutic with a limited window of efficacy and terrible side effect profile that must be dosed in advance of illness. And we want to mandate it? Insanity. End of quote. Following the release of that tweet, Twitter ruled that the information misleading and suspended his account for violations of our misinformation rules. As Berenson writes, quote, "This defamatory act prevents me from using my account anywhere in the world," unquote. Within days of Barrison's ban, Act 3 occurred. Cat Dog Cat changed the definition of that double X, removing the standard that had been in place for at least 20 years that the VAXX produced immunity. In his last comment, Berenson alludes to the acts of censorship, dun dun dun, that have been going on in social media platforms since the beginning of this mandate, writing, "Discovery's gonna be awesome." September 8, 2021. One of Barrison's followers, Carol Jones, commented, laughing out loud, "My lawyer husband just laughed when he read this. That is a slam dunk." As a side note, you ready for this one? This is crazy. Merriam-Webster's dictionary's definition of the VAXX once was a preparation of killed microorganisms, living attenuated organisms, or living fully virulent organisms that is administered to produce or artificially increase immunity to a particular disease, unquote. However, before the Cat Dog Cat changed its definition, Merriam-Webster had already changed theirs, which now includes a secondary description of the experimental mandate genetic therapy. Interestingly, when they made the change, the definition evolved from a simple single line to a much more complex 12-paragraph definition. That is a reflection of the times we live in. The movement toward changing the definition of a VAXX may help protect the pharmaceutical industry and health agencies from violating an FTC, Federal Trade Commission Act, that regulates deceptive practices in medical claims. According to this, it is unlawful to say that a product or service can prevent, treat, or cure human disease unless you possess competent and reliable scientific evidence, including, when appropriate, well-controlled human clinical studies substantiating that the claims are true at the time they are made. And further, you cannot have a VAXX that does not meet the definition of a VAXX. Currently, the mandated genetic therapy injection program does not meet the VAXX definition of the Cat Dog Cat and Merriam-Webster. But it does only after the definitions changed. And it goes on. This will only be up for another 33 hours. So, and I'm only halfway through it. But I figured if I could, I would say it. So, cherish Disney your love. Give your dog belly rubs, if you will. Get a dog.